Well, I'm sure no one can spot the perp in this picture, right? I'm out walking a little loop around my neighborhood. After 3 years of being targeted, I'm still weak, but I'm doing this once in a while. This flashing light thing they usually do along the highway, pretending to have cars stuck. Here's a semi one light car. So far I've had no headlighters, I've had one headlighters, I've had red cars. And when I come out for a walk, this car just happens to be doing a fake get stuck thing here. I had a CHP drive by my quiet neighborhood way off of his beat, just staring in my window today as he drove by the neighborhood. Definitely not anywhere near a highway. I've had people just emerge from their little condo and start shooting basketball just the minute I go by. People honk their car alarms and I go by. My whole point is that this entire 1 mile loop of neighborhood is saturated with perps. All these people getting paid tax dollars just to sit there in case they have to make one little action against me, even if it's one little horn honk. I cannot get over the sick twistedness of this little targeting regime. I've been standing here talking on my phone for about 15 minutes now. That car is just sitting there, hanging out, paid to do it. This is how the sick, plausible, deniable program works. Anybody could technically be there stuck with a stuck car, right? But this is what they do all along my route. Flashing lights has something to do with the program, just like missing headlights and missing hubcaps and red cars. Here's a red one right now. Most of the cars that have passed me have been red. This car happens to be parked next to the towing station that stalks me every time I come or go from the side street in my car. Or sometimes they'll just load up cars on tow trucks and drag them past me. It's crazy how this works. I mean, they're paying the citizens and the tow truck to both play a little skit. And you figure these people are not doing this for free by any means. And you figure how many people are doing it to me, and then how many people that are other TIs are having it done to them too. Across the country. This absolutely has to be the biggest underground economy that ever existed. They're sending a little moped here. They like using those too. I'm sure you can hear that. There he goes. Just as I crossed the street, tried to clip me. Here's a white car pulling out of this place. It's almost 10 at night. This is a really quiet street. It's kind of a commercial area, but it's not a really traveled street at night. Before targeting, I used to walk this street or ride my bike on it every night. Basically encounter nobody. It was just like dead as a doornail after business hours. And now it's like this. See, they're gonna get out of the truck now and do some little skit there. You can see them doing it just as I approach. There's always some little busy work activity when they do it. Just so much traffic here. 10 o'clock on a weeknight. It's non-existent normally. This is what they do. They come up with all these little skits. There's a marijuana shop up here too in a little bit that usually has somebody parked there late at night ready to turn on their lights and do some stalking. Or a security guard there to do some stalking. This little act. Black and white. Street theater, everybody. That's all this is. Looks like the Sundial Pot Collective is empty tonight for some reason. Kind of shocking. Oh, red and white. I'm sorry, red and white. There's the symbology right there, red and white skit. Pretending to put a stuck car on a dolly. Anything for a buck. Completely surprised nobody is at this place because it is usually mobbed with... Oh no, there is one. There he is. I was correct. Looks familiar, huh? After my thing at the bank the other week. Yep. Very surprised. Nothing to watch for out here except for me. Here goes a flood of cars out of this parking lot. Look at that. Look at that. It's like somebody opened the floodgates just because I'm walking down the street. This is a surreal, twisted street theater world. Let's see how their little act is going over here. A white and a red car arranging a dolly tow just when I come out here. How bloody convenient can it be? You can tell, like, oh, there's a no headlight truck. Bright beams during the day, one or no lights during the night. They're so sick. It is hard to believe that this great nation is functioning on this system. Wow, somebody released the horses, didn't they? It's just hard to believe this nation is functioning on this level of immaturity and stupidity. It is absolutely just unthinkable. And you can tell they've reduced me to having no life, walking around looking at this stuff. So here I am, turning back onto the street that leads into my house. Oftentimes I'll have a perp staged here too. I think I'm gonna go over and record this truck. There's a truck over here that's been sitting for like 6 months in front of this shop. Nothing apparently wrong with it. This is a high volume auto repair shop. Cars don't just stay here for weeks at a time, let alone months. And they do all kinds of things. I'll drive down this street, and the minute I get to the shop, a red or white car will pull out of one door of the shop, do a big U-turn out in the street just to pull in front of me, and then pull right back into another door. Crazy stuff like that. So this company is in on it, obviously. And this truck's probably going to speak to me really soon here. It usually speaks to me. It's like it's parked here just so it can record people. It usually tells me I'm being recorded. Is it going to do it today?
Hi, you are currently being recorded.
There it is. I can even drive by here and this truck does this. It's crazy. So the whole reason this truck is parked here for months on end is just to talk to me every time I come by. Well, that's my fun street theater for a nice quiet evening walk. This is how your tax dollars are spent, America, doing sick juvenile stuff that means nothing. And I was on a targeted individual call tonight, and we all experience the same thing all over the country. These skits, these taxpayer-funded skits. And I'm really convinced that due to all the exporting of jobs in this country would have collapsed a long time ago if people were not making secret incomes, making a lot of money for uneducated gaslighting and pranking and vandalism for very short periods of time. They're just on call, and I'm sure they get at least $100 a shot. Who wouldn't do it? You can work an hour or two a day, be satisfied. I'm truly amazed I'm not seeing any more action right here, but I probably will the minute I turn this off. There's usually all kinds of perping going on here too. I can only assume the whole goal is to do any action to justify being paid. And the government will pay. They'll tell them their role is very important in helping suspected terrorists be controlled, I guess. I still don't know the answer. As much stalking as I've been through, as much perping, I still don't really know the exact truth of what's been shown or fabricated or told about me, other than it's pretty vile. It's like America's best kept secret in plain sight. But I am really sure that the Fusion Center organized gang stalking, Sung based harassment program has to be the biggest employer in America and has to be what's keeping this economy afloat, because these people don't work very much. The people in my neighborhood around the corner here, I don't know that one of them has a real job schedule. They've all got big, nice cars, watercraft, other assorted things, decent housing, and usually the only thing they do is come out all day on cue when I come out of my door and get in their car and leave, or they show up in their car right as I'm coming out the door. It's all timed via some big place like Bumble Hive in Utah, the NSA harassment facility that is there, the one Bill Binney warned us about. Something automated controls this entire system of dispatching perps to harass. Like, I can't even call them Minutemen. They're second men, they're so fast. Here we've got a nice timed arrival and turn in. That's another thing they do with me all the time in my car, especially. They time turns right when I get to a certain place. I call them intercepts. And of course, it's usually harmless unless they go out over the stop sign to scare you. But that's kind of what these goons do. It's their way of doing it without ever admitting they're doing it. That's life floundering around as a brain damaged TI. I'm out here like a 10 at night because I don't usually get my head to calm down until about noon. I wake up with my head spinning, nauseated, dizzy, headache, completely exhausted with fibromyalgia. I can barely move, barely sleep because they don't let me sleep. And so I stagger around most of the day. I'll do something kind of brain dead by, like, I'll just go out and try to clean up something or do some little work on my truck or clean something. And I'm a little more coherent at this time of day, but then it's time to go to bed again. So that's just kind of the semi-vegetative state I'm in. I guess I'll sign off now. I'm almost home. It's sure been quiet on this street, but it isn't always. Good night, America. Hope the non-microwaved, non-targeted rest of you are enjoying your night's sleep as you go out tomorrow to work at the job that you're lucky to have because you're not targeted. And enjoy the friends you're allowed to have, maybe the spouse you're allowed to have. And just experiencing the peace I experienced up until 3 years ago when I didn't know anything about this program. And I thought I had no enemies in the world. So now it's just attempting to survive day by day. There's not any immediate future I can see. I just stagger through each day and I don't know what's going to happen because I can't make plans. I can barely get the energy to even do a couple hours worth of anything during the day. I appreciate everyone listening to this. I was just going to shoot that one car over there and then I just kept talking, I guess because I don't have enough people to talk to. So I'm talking to my phone and whoever might watch this.